Today on the patio, we're doing some huge beef short ribs. These are a full-length bone. The meat's all pulled back and tied up nicely. Looks great for presentation, gonna taste even better. Let's get into it. What's up, barbecue fans? My name is Jake, and today, it's rib day. Take a look at those guys. Those are monsters. Now, I was walking through the grocery store looking at the butcher, and I saw 3 of these left. They were on sale, and I love the way they cleaned them up and folded them and tied them, and I was like, yes please, I'll take all 3. And you guys get a video out of it. So yesterday afternoon, actually, what we did here is pull these guys out of the package. I generally don't use a binder too often, but when it comes to beef, I love me some W sauce on it, so I slathered them up with some W sauce because they're gonna sit overnight and kind of suck in some of that flavor. I also took my pepper can in, I mixed up some of their smoked pepper, which is delicious, let me tell you. So I used some smoked pepper corns in there, and we mixed up about a 2-to-1 ratio of fresh cracked smoked pepper and Diamond Crystal kosher salt. I put a nice heavy coating on all sides, and then I took some Lowry seasoning salt and put a nice coating on top of that. So I brought the salt level up. If I had to guess, we're probably maybe just slightly pepper heavy. There is a lot of salt on these. These are a big old piece of meat, especially because they're folded over and they're so thick. So I wanted to have a little bit of extra salt in there and the brine time to be able to really get into that meat. Then we put them on a rack. I threw them in my beer fridge, and they've been sitting there for 20-ish hours. So they got some good time. If you've got longer, do yourself a favor and give yourself another 12 hours, even 24 hours. The more time, the better for this. Hey there, little guy, sit still. And then earlier this morning, about 30 minutes ago, maybe 25 minutes ago, we came out and we got some smoke rolling. For our wood today, we're using some Bear Mountain hickory chunks and some cherry chunks. Just so happens I'm at a cherry now. I got some more inside. Why am I using hickory? So normally I would use like a pecan or an oak. Hickory generally is a little heavy for most people. I mean, I like it, but typically I would use traditional oak or pecan on some beef like this, but I'm going to be braising these at the end, and in my experience, some of the brining washes off some of that smoke flavor. So I'm gonna go with a little bit of a heavier smoke. I'm also going in with that cherry for some sweetness and some color. So on the bottom, I've got 2 pieces of hickory and 1 piece of cherry. Then we put the lump over top of it. Then we lit it up with our grow gun, and then I put another big old piece of cherry on top of there, and we let it come up to temperature. Once we got up to about 400 at our dome, I then opened it up, I closed my heat deflectors, shut down the dome. Right now we're about 250, and we're at the second line here. It's stabilizing still. And then I closed the bottom vent to about 1 inch, and that brings us up to where we are right now. We're gonna throw these guys on, and we're gonna cook a little hotter today. It's a beautiful day. I mean, I don't have all day. It is I think it's the second beautiful day in a little while. I don't know about where you're at, but we have had a ton of rain. We've actually had the most rain on record in history so far in the last 4 months here, and I'm sick of it. We also are dealing with heavy rains. So to be honest, keeping up with my video schedule has been one hell of a challenge because I've had to cram in a lot of cooking in a day sometimes and skip some weekends. So I want to take advantage of this. I got some things I want to get done around the house. So we're gonna bump up the temperatures to 275. And then we're gonna cook them till about 170, and then we're gonna start to braise them. But let's get these guys on. The reason why I'm laying them like this is so I can get around and spray all sides, or the most sides, easily without touching them. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let these go for probably a couple hours. maybe an hour and a half, and I'm gonna check them. If they've dried out a little bit, then we're gonna get some spray and we're gonna give them a quick spray. But for the most part, we're probably not gonna touch these for upwards of 2 hours. It's been about an hour and a half. We're actually sitting right around 300, so I backed down our top vent just a little bit. Now remember, great temperatures, probably about 25 degrees lower, so we're still around 275 great temperature, but it is definitely time to give these guys a spray. So let's do that. In here, I have about a cup of water, a cup of apple cider vinegar, and then a quarter cup of Worcestershire sauce. So 50-50 water, apple cider vinegar, and then a bunch of Worcestershire sauce just for some flavor. Let me pull you in here and we'll have a look. As you can see, they did fall over here, which I kind of expected would happen, but I mean, look, this is the first spray, but just to give you an idea, turn those guys around. There's another shot. Oh, yeah. We're getting some nice red color out of that cherry, which is awesome. I mean, look at the red on there. Oh. Let's see, I was just gonna rotate around so I can get the other side on the top this time. We're gonna keep rolling for probably at least another hour. So we're at 2.5 hours. Let's have a look at our temperatures. These guys look good. 166 right near the bone, almost 167 though. That one's 175, and that one's 173. I mean, look at those guys. They look absolutely delicious. Give them a final spray here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna braise these the last 25, 30 degrees. That's gonna help tenderize them, and it's also gonna add a little bit of a flavor component. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier or not, but this was a last minute video. I was at the grocery store for something completely different, and this is one of those things. I was walking by the butcher and I was like, whoa, double take. And I grabbed all those three that they had. Now, the one thing I've been trying to think about is how am I gonna braise these without having to use a ton of liquid? So what we have here is I have this foil pan that I've kind of bunched in a little bit, and we're gonna have all the liquid down here, and then I'm gonna cover it up. Because with that long bone, I don't quite have a container that's gonna work properly. But the other thing that happened is I went to go look for some beef broth so I could do some beef broth and red wine, and I don't have any beef broth. And I mean, for me not to have beef broth in the house is kind of like me not having rum in the house. I mean, it rarely happens, so I was kind of shocked. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use some beer. Now, when I was younger, in my late teens, early 20s a little bit, I did a lot of marinating, like steaks and like direct wine and beer and stuff. And everyone always kind of, when I did the beer one, like, there's something unique about this. What is it? Got a little bit of a sweetness. And it was always the beer, and it always tasted good. I have not done it in, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 years, to be honest. So today I went and got some light beer out of the beer fridge, and we're gonna use some of this. I don't think I'm gonna use all of it, but of course I'll have one since it's here. But what we're gonna do here is we're going to get these guys off here. Let me see what we're gonna do here. You know what? A lot of meat. What's the other way of doing this? The other way of this is going like this. Damn, it's hot. And they're just not gonna quite fit that way. So I'm gonna squish this up a little bit because I don't wanna have to use a ton of liquid, but I do wanna cover our meat. Yeah, one beer doesn't go very far in this container. That's the issue I was thinking about. And I know someone out there is going to scream because I'm putting cold beer in here, but I'll tell you what, because these have been cooking at 300, that fat is nice and rendered. Yes, it's going to take us back while the beer warms up, but we're still brining, so we're going to break it back down. Don't worry about it. This is an unplanned change of events. I don't drink a lot of Miller Lite, but it hit the spot on this spring, sunny day. doing yard work out there. So, if you guys have not figured it out by now, you've been watching for a while, like nothing on this channel is scripted. I see a piece of meat or someone makes a comment and I make a video out of it, or I just feel like eating something one day and I cook it. Lots of stuff on video is like perfect cooks all the time, and that's not backyard barbecue. I mean, obviously I want to teach you how to step up your game a little bit, but you also gotta be able to think on the fly and make some changes and make some mistakes and learn from them. So if you like all that and you're not subscribed, do so below. Let's get this guy back on. So what we're gonna do now is this is gonna take a little bit. I think we're probably gonna braise it for maybe 2 hours. We're gonna leave it at 300 still. And I've got this super tight. The most important part when you're braising is that you don't want the steam or anything to escape, right? We want all this to stay in there. So we've got it super tight. And now we're just gonna let that rock until it hits probably 200, might go as high as maybe 203. It all depends. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use our Chef's Temp X10 and we're just gonna probe into the meat, and when it feels like butter or warm peanut butter, then we're gonna pull it. So we're back. It's been 2.5 hours. I just pulled these guys off. I forgot the cameras weren't rolling, but I think you can use your imagination and know that I just pulled these guys off. Our total cook time is 4 hours and 45 minutes. Let me show you some temperature here. I'm burning myself. Oof. Damn, hot, son. Oh man, it smells good. Went a little higher than I wanted. We're at 205 in the center, but we've got that feel that we're looking for. You know, you gotta go by feel, folks, but all of these feel absolutely delicious. So what we're gonna do, they feel delicious, is that possible? What we're gonna do is I wanna get these out of the braising liquid, right? Damn, son, these bones are hot. There we go. I just want a little bit of protection on my hands here real quick. But I'm gonna throw these on the foil and just let them get out of this for a little bit. Let them cool off. If we leave them in that braising liquid, they're gonna take even longer. Oh, that's hot. The things I do for you guys go through a lot of pain. So we'll take that, we will take this up on this cooling rack like so, and we'll just let these guys cool down. I mean, I just want to bite into them right now, to be honest, but I will restrain myself and let these cool down. So we're gonna let these cool down for a good 15 or 20 minutes. What I'm going to do so they can rest just a little longer is I'm gonna take them inside, I'm gonna wrap them in foil. And just no braising liquid or anything, just wrap them in foil and let them come down in temperature for a little bit. That'll allow them to kind of come down and rest just a little longer in the process. So it's been about 25 minutes. We're gonna squeeze this in before the sun completely leaves us. Let me just get a glove on here real quick. Oh, man, that looks good. Oh, I don't know which one to take. I mean, both of them, all three of them look good. I can't count, I'm so excited. I think we'll do, oh, I don't know, man. I think we're gonna take this one right here. This is the small guy, but I like it because it's got a lot of color on it. So this was tied on by the butcher, so we're gonna just take our string out of here. That is so tender. Look, just by squeezing, you can see what we're pulling off here. Beautiful. Oh, man. Depending on how you pull it, it'll pull right apart. I'm gonna take some of this bark here. I got some W sauce here, but let me just try it without some W sauce first. That beer just adds a little bit of sweetness to it. It's actually quite nice. Let them get a little too cold. You got sidetracked, but I mean, look at the color on that. All that smoke flavor in there, right in your mouth. That, my friends, is a home run if you're looking for something different and you don't have a ton of time. Remember, we did these in 4 hours and 45 minutes. If you just did them normally, they would take 8 hours. These are absolutely delicious. They've got a nice little flavor difference compared to normal just smoked ribs. And I think you're gonna have to try them, see if you like them for yourself. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up while you're down there. Don't forget to subscribe, help support the channel. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon.